Hi everybody, how you doing? I'm Pabs, a Ricine VTuber and an art streamer, and today we're going to be working on some more art fight character references. We've been making some good progress. We've got 2 down. I think I have like maybe 2, maybe 3 that I still want to get done. But that also means that we're going at a pretty good clip too. So I'm happy with our progress so far. That being said, before we move on to the one today, I did want to go back to work on Ben's a little bit more because, and I need to find the file right here. You remember how when I was doing Ben's profile, I was like struggling to figure out what to put as his like final item? Like he had his sword, he had his ginseng lollipop, whatever. But I was struggling to figure out what the last item was, and it came to. After talking to somebody, it kind of came to me what the potentially funniest third item could be. So let's get right in there and see what we're up to today. Alrighty, so let me just tuck myself away into my corner here. There we go. Where is Clip Studio? There we go. Source is active. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take. What would it be? Okay, it would have to be somewhere in here. Yeah, it's this layer here. We'll start with this layer here first. Okay. But yeah, I hope you all had a good weekend. It's been a busy couple days at work for me, but I feel like I'm doing good. I feel like even though I'm struggling, I'm not like I'm not progressing. You know, I'm struggling, but like it's got like an outcome in mind. You know, I feel much more positive about the whole thing, although that may not last. Lord knows I have been optimistic before and gotten my everything crushed from that, but I feel good about it. I feel like something good might come of this. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make like a kind of like rectangular card. I was going to say, like, do cards technically have to be rectangular? I think it's more about the material that they're made out of, but like if you have a key card, right, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the shape of a rectangle. I think we called them cards because they were made of cardboard. Or like, wait, no, that can't be right. No, cardboard would probably be called cardboard because it's what they make cards out of, right? I don't know, that has to have like some kind of weird etymological kind of chicken and egg kind of situation, because I don't know which would come first, because cards could either be cards would have had to come first, because I feel like cardboard wasn't a thing. Like, we've had cards before we've had cardboard, right? So cardboard must be what they make cards out of. This so far to me makes sense. But then why did they call them cards? Because there's no like rectangular component to that. You know, there's no background music. Yeah, there's no like language component to that where I could see like, oh yeah, this is like card to me doesn't speak of a specific shape. I mean, obviously you'd associate cards with rectangles, but that's because we've seen cards before. It's not like it's like a word derived from Latin or something, right? Okay, so okay, so the idea for this is to basically make him a fake ID that says he's 27. Again, this is like the funniest thing that I could come up with. This is going to be like the logo of the municipality that it's from. But yeah, the funny, like, because he's supposed to be more than 100 years old, like, Ben is supposed to be, like, really, really old, but, like, you know, he's still, like, his body is still preserved and all that. It's weird magic stuff, but don't worry about that. But basically, he is way older than, like, 50. But, you know, he just looks kind of, like, 56, 60-ish. So I thought that the funniest thing that I could do is to give him a fake ID that says he's 27. Or like some really like weirdly young age. I feel like vampires would have to abuse that. Like, vampires, right? Putting aside, like, the whole kind of Twilight thing of, like, oh, hey, this vampire looks like a teenager and goes to high school. Like, the funniest thing you could do as somebody who is more than a century old is to get yourself a card that says that you're, like, even younger than you look. I feel like I should give him sunglasses in this thing, too. What kind of sunglasses would he have? I feel like he'd have like a couple of like really expensive Ray-Bans or something. Am I missing anything from here? No, he's fine. What would Ben's birthday be? I don't know. What about 8th of August? I don't set this in a particular year, so yeah. How tall would he be in centimeters? I don't think he'd be too tall, honestly, but definitely like not on the short side. I think I'm like 179 or so. He'd probably weigh around 50, 55 kilograms. I don't know what else you'd have on like a driver's license or something, or like a fake ID. Oh, maybe his blood type. So maybe just O positive. God, whenever I remember that like some people use blood type as... I know it's like popular in Japan. Like sometimes people use blood type for divination. You know how like some people have astrology signs. Like some people will use blood type for that information. And whenever I remember that, I also remember a post where like this dude was asking his mom, what time was I born? Like in like hours, and his mom basically just said, nope, stop chatting with her, which basically meant that like he hooked up with some random girl who was like really into that kind of like superstitious kind of things. And his mom was just like, yeah, no, stop talking to her. God, what are like the most obnoxious looking kind of sunglasses on Earth? I need to look this up. I need to make sure that I have like... Hang on. I need to make sure that I have like some kind of outside reference. Oh, okay, this one isn't obnoxious so much as it is just weird. I don't... These are such... These sunglasses... Also, the article this is apparently from is called 10 Things Women Wish You'd Stop Wearing. I'm pretty sure they want you to stop wearing that because otherwise, like, you know, if you see a guy wearing these, you just kind of have to ask for his number, right? It's what you gotta do. No, there's no choice in that. Oh, yeah, this is kind of the ones that I was picturing originally for him. Just like these kind of like Ray-Ban sunglasses. And sunglasses are really interesting. I don't know who came up with like the idea. I remember that there were some indigenous peoples, I believe from Canada, who had basically really ancient sunglasses. I'm not sure if that's the correct term. They were basically like these. How do I put this? They were like. I'll sketch them out real quick. Basically, they didn't have any glass in them because I don't know how much access they have to sand and where they were from, but they were like these solid blocks. These was like solid goggles. This was like solid bone material or something. And in the middle, they had like these minuscule slits. Like these very narrow slits from which you could see out of. And that makes sense because that would kind of like mess up the way the light kind of shines into the glasses. Why is this not... Okay, here we go. Alright, so kind of like brownish color sunglasses. Kind of... Maybe more orangish. I feel like these are leaning towards orange, I think. God, what an asshole you would have to be to wear sunglasses to your driver's license. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that, like, he also looks 50 and his whole thing says, like, he's 27. It's also the fact that he's wearing sunglasses in this. God, I wish that was, like, a thing that you could do. I feel like past a certain point, you're just, like... Past a certain point, you should just be allowed to dick around in your official documents. You know? I feel like if you make it to like 60 in this cold Earth, you should be allowed to have a little bit of fun with the way you make your official documents look. Yeah. Like, for example, I feel like if I don't know if I feel passionate enough about anything to do this, but I remember that a kind of trend, it was supposed to be like really gaudy or something, but I remember that a trend used to be that you could like get anything printed on your credit card or debit card. Like, you would go to the bank and they would be able to like customize your card so that it would show like a specific picture in there. And I remember some people used to like put anime stuff on there or like, you know, a sports team on there. I'm guessing that's no longer available because of like copyright stuff, but like, I don't know. It'd be funny if it was still around. Which is to say, I kind of wish that service was still around. I would make such... I don't know. I don't know what I would put on mine. Like I said, I don't know if I feel passionate enough about anything to commit to that. But like, I mean, how long does a debit card last anyway? Like, few years? So, you know, if you make a mistake, you can always just, like, wait until the card expires, and then you can just, like, when you get your new one, just don't put something weird on it, or something flashy on it. I feel like it's a very easy kind of reversible process, almost. Yeah, actually forget everything I said. Do it and do it immediately. It's so reversible and easy to undo. You might as well take the chance, right? But yeah, I think you do have to be it's like getting a tattoo almost, but like way less permanent. Because unless you're like passionate or like are convinced you will grow to be passionate about it, you're not gonna like want something stupid on there. I don't think. Okay. Okay, so we'll move this one to like around here. And then we'll edit the text, and, you know, that'll be the end of that. There we go. And I feel like maybe I could move it down even a little bit further, almost. Let me try that. Maybe I need to like work a little with the lettering. Hang on. There we go. I feel like that, even though it's a little bit narrower, I feel like it's a little bit more orderly that way. God, I think that I've really outdone myself this time. The concept of having like this immortal character walking around with a fake, like, I mean, obviously, if you unless like it's like what do we do in the shadows or something, I feel like most media don't go on to like, oh yeah, how do they maintain their birth records or whatever if they're like vampires or something. But I feel like to a certain extent, like just making up something ridiculous like this is also a valid answer. You know, I feel like it's almost more realistic than going like, oh yeah, we have like the super secret like vampire DMV that we go to renew our driver's licenses whenever we need a new identity. All right, I think that's good for that. Yeah, I think Ben's pretty much done. Okay, so now it's time to switch on over to Aster. Now, Aster's I haven't updated for a couple of years, I think. I think I threw him in there in like the second round. In 2018, I only had Roland and Olivia. I think I'll update Olivia's as well when I get the chance, but I think it was just those two. So, Aster definitely came in during like 2019 or 2020. No, I think his must have been like 2019. It must have been. Okay. But yeah, this is Aster. He's kind of a mess. So yeah, it's kind of like backstory for him. He was basically a kind of very smart... Okay, so... I'm trying to figure out like how to frame this guy. So, no parents. First of all, he never knew his parents. Second of all, very smart kid. When he was in school, he actually had a lot of support from his neighborhood. So he made the most of it and basically became one of the smartest kids in the kind of like region. So much so that he actually entered one of those like robotics competitions by himself and would have won if the other team hadn't had like 6 other really, really smart people on their payroll. So yeah, he would have done really well, but like it was not to be. Then he discovered he had anger issues because the night that he the night that he figured out that he wasn't going to get the prize at the robotics competition, he went over to the hotel where the other team was staying at and just burnt it down. Yeah, not a great start to his story. Anyway, after he burnt down the hotel, Ben actually found him. The guy that we were just on, the guy whose page we were just on, Ben found him and basically said like, "Hey, listen, I know what you did, and I respect it a lot. I admire that kind of drive and attitude. You want to work for me, kid?" And Aster, because he was like he basically had nothing to do. He was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? I'll drop out of high school and go work for you, you weird old man." And ever since then, Ben has just been like mentoring him, teaching him martial arts, and like getting him to like people who know a lot about science. And he's become even more competent with robotics and engineering. And that's kind of Aster's story. Figuring out what kind of like pose I want for him. No, that's not right. This also feels a little wrong. I feel like his legs would not be like... He isn't like a person who like... He doesn't have... I don't know how to put it. Like, Aster is a very kind of like... I wouldn't say relaxed, but definitely kind of like... Ooh, that's not what I wanted that arm to do. But yeah, relaxed doesn't seem like the right word. Like, nothing affects him more like he's not very easily bothered. He does have his anger issues, but like those are also like surprisingly difficult to kind of bring to the forefront. I mean, the only real ways to get him that mad anymore are to either, just really do something really awful to him or talk shit about Ben, which also sets him off. Alright, hang on. There we go. But yeah, Aster's probably not what you'd call a good person. he definitely gets better, I think, but like he's definitely not what you would call a good person, just like starting out. I am wondering that like maybe he'd be holding something, or maybe he'd have like one of his hands in his pockets like he does back here. I think that might be good. All right, we'll do that then. Okay, so we'll just like raise the shoulder up just a little bit. There we go. We might want to like take a different angle on this as well. Not quite. Okay, let's call that like a 90 degrees is a bit much for like hand in the pocket. I feel like, hang on. I wonder. Okay, I think this is gonna be pretty close. I can just get this guy to properly tuck his fingers in his pockets, I'd be really good. This is a nice little hand gesture, but it's not what I need right now. Also, I need to flip this. Okay, there we go. Okay. So first of all, kind of like putting the elbow out there more, I think, would be good. Okay. Yes. Interesting. Yeah, okay, I think this is gonna kind of have to be the way it's gonna be. Okay, and then from there, let's just tweak the angle a little bit so it's a bit more natural too. Oh yeah, he's also really tall. Like, he's one of the taller guys out there. Good 190 centimeters. That's a bit much, isn't it? Like, I think 185 might be more accurate. But yeah, definitely one of the bigger guys out there. Okay, and then we'll work on the rest of this as we kind of go along. The fact that like I made the kind of building arson part of his official backstory now puts this little gag here in a much darker tone. I feel like that's maybe now inappropriate to joke about, but like he's not a real person anyway, so I don't feel like I have to stress about that too much, maybe. Okay. Okay, and I need to turn down the opacity on this. Probably kind of like blank this out in the background. I also have to decide on a new logo for him as well, because his logo, hang on, I don't know if you can still see it. Yeah, this kind of like triangle with the arrow there. That was meant to be on a kind of reference to a chemical reaction. So you know how like when you have a chemical reaction, you're supposed to use arrows to indicate what happens. When you put a little triangle there, I think it means like it bonds or something. I remember it had to do something with alloys. But the kind of like part of him that's relevant to that is no longer a part of his character, so I feel like that might not be an appropriate logo for him anymore. You know, there are some logos that are like pretty timeless, like for example, Olivia's logo is like a V with a tilde going through it. And I still remember that, like, the kind of, like, meaning behind that. Like, it's meant to be, like, yeah, V for victory, but, like, the tilde means that, like, maybe she's not gonna win what she wants. Okay, yeah. Aster's hair is a lot of fun to draw. I love, like, big old floofy pompadours like this. Although I imagine they're quite a pain to maintain. I don't know. I feel like they look really good, especially for him. Okay. There we go. Okay, so hair. Okay. And then maybe I can like stretch out this like middle. In Spanish, it's called a rulo. It's like a lock, I guess would be. Yeah, like a lock. This middle lock. I hesitate to call it a bang. First of all, because I'm pretty sure the singular of bangs is not bang, but like. Also because it just does not feel appropriate. That's not like bangs. Those are just like. That's just like his head. Or like a hair, a bit of hair. Okay. Wait, no, hang on. That eye was actually pretty good. Oh well. Yeah, I think out of... Yeah, the thing is, right, all of my characters have, like, different specialties. Specifically in this group, Aster makes up kind of like a trio with Roland and Sunny. You know, they all have kind of like a celestial theme. Roland has the moon, Sunny has the sun, and Aster has the stars. Which is fun, but I feel like out of the three of them, he definitely has like the most kind of like encyclopedic knowledge. He knows a lot about like the formal histories and events of the universe. Roland is more competent with stuff like local history and like more kind of like generalized science. Roland is actually very competent when it comes to like book smarts. Sunny, on the other hand, is like really good with bureaucracy and reading through like really difficult documents. They all have like a different specialty when it comes to like reading. But yeah, Aster's is definitely more of a... Roland's is definitely more kind of like a... almost like a... again, it's not exactly book smart, because like he didn't really learn it from books. Sun Smug. Yeah, how you doing, Leov? Yeah, Roland's isn't so much book smart as he is just like weirdly familiar with like a lot of scientific concepts and like can use them to kind of guesstimate what's going to happen. But Aster's is like the more kind of like numbers focused kind of guy. Okay. Yeah, out of the three of them, Aster also has like the most like muscular body. Sunny's is like more kind of like tightly densed, and Roland's is kind of like a lean muscle, but he is like this dude looks like a proper bodybuilder. Okay. So yeah, he also had like that kind of like a pilot's bomber jacket, which is actually kind of relevant because it's a gift from Roland. Yeah, basically Roland and Aster met and they fought, and Roland was like, wait, hang on, you know Ben? I know Ben too. And from there they basically hit it off. Roland gave him this jacket as a kind of like commemorative gift and to kind of like make peace with him. And Aster really liked the jacket, so he kept it. Or he kept wearing it. It was already his to kind of keep. But yeah, it kind of becomes his kind of like signature clothing item. Now that I think about it, I make Roland give away like a lot of his jackets, like as kind of like a symbolic thing. It's funny to me that like this cowboy guy just kind of like abruptly hands off one of his old ratty ass jackets to you, and that's like a sign you're part of his found family now. God. I should have done this symmetrically. That's what I should have done. Oh well. Yeah, I'm already fighting the bad fight. Might as well make it sick. Alright. Here we go. Yeah, fleece is kind of interesting to texture because you can actually do it pretty well with just like black and white. Yeah, this is definitely like a little too far out. Maybe more like this and a little bit of this. Attaboy. Okay. Yeah, also because it is Roland's jacket, and Roland is like almost like a head shorter than Aster. This is the jacket is kind of small on him, so I'm guessing it would probably only reach to around, I don't know. Bomber jackets are supposed to kind of reach to around here, so it's probably going to reach to only to around here, I think. Yeah, bomber jackets already have a pretty tight hemline. So if it's small on you, then it's gonna look like friggin' Future Trunks' outfit. I like that that's the only kind of fictional character that I know of that has like a crop jacket that I can like from the off the top of my head recall. I feel like I've seen like a couple of people with that, but like Future Trunks is like the one that I most remember. Okay, and then kind of like, what would this be like? Like this? I think, yeah, I think so. Okay. There we go. Yeah, it's always funny when you have characters that you've like had since you were a teenager, because, you know, as a teenager or as somebody who read a lot of like manga and stuff growing up, I was like used to seeing like, oh yeah, this 15-year-old just saved the world, and I'm like, yeah, cool, I've seen it before. What else? But as I've kind of grown older, I kind of like started realizing that like, oh man, 15-year-olds should not be doing this. Yeah, that's become a pretty sobering realization. Like, the kind of age of my characters, when I was like 18, I was like, okay, you know what, they wouldn't be able to do this. Like, not even when I was 18. I think like when I was like 16, I was like, okay, they definitely wouldn't be able to do this at like 18, 19, or whatever kind of age I had them at. Let's say that they did it when they were 23. And now I'm like 22, and I'm like, oh yeah, they wouldn't be able to do this at 22 either. Okay. Yeah. It's like that one person said, right? Like, you will never become like... How it going? Pretty good, pretty good. I feel like pretty good today. You know, I didn't put in overtime at work today, so I'm feeling pretty saucy. Again, realizing that I maybe should have mirrored this, but that's fine. You know, this is fine. I have fun drawing jackets. I love drawing jackets. I actually do really like jackets, because I feel like I'm a big fan of like the kind of like iconography of stuff, right? I like studying what kind of items I can take from something and still make it kind of recognizable as something else. So like, for example, a doctor's coat, right? You put like a white lab coat on anyone, and you're immediately like, oh, they're somebody who does like science, and they must do it pretty freaking well if they're wearing the white lab coat. You know, it's like a visual shorthand. So I like kind of like investigating what kind of visual shorthands there are for everything. So like, for example, yeah, and that's kind of related to why I love making logos and little symbols for each character too. So for example, Aster's symbol used to be that kind of like a chemical reaction, because he used to be a chemist type character. Yeah, I think there's like only two kind of omnidisciplinarian scientists running around in my setting. Would the jacket sleeves be that long on him? I think not. I think they would kind of like recede to around here. Yeah, he used to be a chemist, and like he used to have like a power based on like alloys, so he had that kind of like symbol to him. But now he doesn't, so now he doesn't. You know, I gotta come up with something else. Maybe something based on stars? That might be interesting. I'll figure it out when I figure it out. In any case, I love like figuring out like what kind of icons people associate with anything, and I love borrowing that kind of iconography. Like for example, if there's or like for example, if you have like somebody like, I don't know how to put it, like, I really don't know what other kind of examples I can give because it's like so unique for each thing. What other examples are there? With me, it's the yeah, it's this kind of like it's the it's the Yeah, that emoji is kind of small. I don't know if you can see me like leaning closer to my monitor to see which one that one is. The OBS chat doc has a surprisingly small font. God. So today I was listening to a history podcast about this dude, about this group of. I was gonna call them like sailor. That's a really funny way of putting it. Like eye rolling. This to me reads like a little bit like eye rolling, or like. Kind of like that almost. I remember that the Germans called the @ sign the spider monkey sign because, like, hang on. Like, this is supposed to be like a little monkey. Kind of like that. Apparently, that's why the Germans call the @ sign the spider monkey sign. There has to have been like some German dude who made like a Spider-Man ripoff with that like symbol, right? Like there has to have been like some kind of like German, I don't know, satire magazine that had that in there. I love their monkey tattoo. They don't have a monkey tattoo. I actually want, like, I think so far I've only given one of my characters like canon tattoos. I feel like I should give more people. Wait, no, I've also given that one lady I designed based off of a shoe a tattoo. So that makes like for a grand total of like 2 characters that I've made who have tattoos. Wait, no, I also remember I gave Martin one as well on his throat. That makes 3. But I feel like that number should be much higher. The thing is, I don't think I like understand tattoos just yet. I don't think like I'm passionate enough to put. Well, no, I mean, like, people get tattoos for all kinds of reasons, right? It doesn't have to be necessarily even something you're passionate about. It just has to be, like, something that's, like, meaningful to you in the moment. You know, it might be something as simple as, like, the day you got a tattoo stamped on your back. As meaningless or as meaningful as you want it to be. It's just a body modification. But, you know, because I still have, like, that maybe kind of a more traditional view on tattoos. Maybe that's why I still don't have, like, a lot of characters with them. Oh yeah, I forgot that this hand is supposed to be in his pocket. Which is a shame, because it was turning out to be a really nice hand. Okay, that's just gonna kind of bulge out like that. But yeah, how you been doing, Leo? You doing okay? Okay, got the shirt on like this. Yes. I think I had it like half tucked before. Let me check. Yeah, it was kind of like almost like in a French tuck kind of thing. There we go. Here we go. And then he had like a shirt with like, he had a tank top on. So that's going to be a pretty low neckline. I still have to figure out what kind of logo he'll have. Yeah. I draw like a more kind of like clear line here, but like he's not supposed to be that thin. So I don't think like his kind of, that kind of like, you know, tight crevice between the pecs would show up for him. Ooh, ah. Alright, let's just kind of like get rid of that there. Yeah. Oh, here's something funny. Today I read about this pest control company in North Carolina. I don't remember what their name was, but essentially they had like a kind of a experiment going, right? Not really an experiment. It was more like a, what am I going to call it? Like a initiative would probably be the right word. They had an initiative going on where basically if you let them put 100 cockroaches in your house, they would give you $2,000. And you know, they'd also kind of like, naturally they'd come by to clean up the cockroaches as well, but basically they were going to do a study like that to kind of figure out how quickly the roaches propagate, you know, how you know, kind of like their pattern and everything. You know, to make a better business, obviously, but like, it's a very creative way of doing it, I think. I think it's a very interesting way of doing it. Wouldn't do it. Like, I would 100% not let roaches into my house willingly, but like, I feel like that it's like a smarter way of doing it than just like wasting even more money trying to find like control. You know, because if when you do like science, right, you have to have like control variables. There has to be a thing that does not change, so you can observe what is changing more closely. So kind of like removing the need to kind of set up their own kind of controls. They can just come to a house, see like, okay, yeah, this looks like pretty decent, and then they just unleash the roaches. I feel like that's at least a pretty smart way of doing it. Maybe not the most ethical, but definitely a smart way of doing it. Okay, and these were going to be like fairly skinny jeans until around here, at which point they would kind of like cuff up. Kind of like mine, but yeah, they'd kind of be rolled up at this point because he has those big old kind of rose boots on him. I actually like drawing his boots. They're a lot of fun to render. I like drawing roses in like very oversimplified style. Got it. So recently, okay, all right. So get this right. If you haven't been keeping up with the recent kind of games expositions that have been going on throughout these past couple weekends, they recently announced that Persona 3, 4, and 5 were going to be coming to PC, Xbox, and PC, Xbox, and I think maybe PlayStation. They would have already been on PlayStation though. The Persona games are originally a PlayStation series. But yeah, bottom line for me was that they were coming over to PC. I have been meaning to play like a Persona game at some point, but it's like also, do I really want to do that to myself? Anyway, I feel like I'll have fun with it, so I should try it out at some point. But yeah, that was big news for me because I remember that Persona 4 was already on PC, but yeah, now we're getting 3 and 5. I know a friend of mine, V, has been waiting for Persona 3 to get ported to PC at some point, just like with bated breath. So I'm happy for her. Yeah. Like I said, I don't really have a horse in that race, but I have been meaning to try them out at some point, so this just makes them very accessible to me. Yeah, it's like, even if I don't want it, I'd still like to have access to it if I needed it. I don't know what context I would have to kind of need to play a Persona game. Hopefully one that I'll never run into. But, you know, now that possibility is open to me. Yeah, what I've really been meaning to play is actually one of the Shin Megami Tensei games, the kind of like parent series of Persona. I know the third one's supposed to be really good. I don't know what the kind of like vibe is on the fifth one so far. I remember some people really liked it. Okay. Yeah, I feel like the Shin Megami Tensei games have a much narrower kind of, what do you call, like, much narrower kind of appeal than compared to like Persona, because Persona you have like the, you know, kind of like daily life, high school hijinks kind of aspect to it, which is always very popular. But you know, Shin Megami Tensei has like a much more kind of like self-contained story that doesn't necessarily like. I feel like there are some things that are like much more friendly to having like a huge sprawling fandom. This isn't necessarily a good or a bad trait, it's just like some things are like that. And I feel like there needs to be like, for a healthy ecosystem to exist, there has to be like a good balance between like things that have like a lot of like fandom appeal and things that just don't. You know, I feel like if the market is such that like only things that have fandom appeal, if that is a thing, I feel like that has to be a thing. If only things that have fandom appeal get popular, then that's going to create a very, very, very weird kind of market. Which we might actually be in now. I feel like there's still like appeal for stuff that's like, you know, kind of self-contained non-fandom stuff. Like, for example, I don't think, like Disco Elysium, right? Possibly the best game I've ever played, one of the best, undoubtedly, doesn't feel like it would have like a huge like fandom, like kind of like the Persona series does, and that's a good thing. That's like, it's good for it because that means it has a very clear kind of like message. It has like a very unique kind of thing that it wants to tell you, and it's not kind of like for your interpretation. Like, it has like some, well, no, it is very open to interpretation, but like in a way that doesn't beget like, I don't know, fandom. It opens your mind up to like discussion. It's food for thought. That's what it is. You know, it makes you think. It makes you think instead of making you think like, okay, how could I fix this? Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a preference for one over the other, but I will say that like you need both. Like, I feel like you do, like, to have like a healthy kind of market, you do need both. Because, you know, if your market is only made up of like non-mainstream stuff, then yeah, you're gonna have like some incredible storytelling going on, but you're also going to be like completely alienating people who might potentially enjoy it if it weren't so absolutely dense. On the other hand, if you have like only really accessible stuff, there's just no depth to it. And, you know, people will get tired of it eventually. Okay. Pabs, yeah? Did you get wider? Did I get wider? You look different. I recently messed around with like the window size of my thing. I don't think that makes me wider though. I feel like that just like shows more of me. Maybe like I'm bigger. I don't know. I've always been pretty wide. Like I've always been kind of like rice ball shaped. Like, hang on, I'm gonna draw a quick sketch of myself. Yeah, that's about right actually. Yeah, I've always used kind of like this triangular shape to kind of like help guide me drawing myself. Maybe I made that arm a little lanky there, but like... There we go. You know, you got this. You got my two little legs here. Oh, what are we kidding? There we go. Can't confirm. Yeah, can't confirm. Pav's is white as hell. Oh wait, no, you can't. You can confirm that I look different. Huh. That's weird. Thick boy. You got what it's about, Top Buzz. Here we go. There we go. And you know, you got the little rice on top. Yeah, and there you have it. That's me. I look kind of lanky. I look white as hell, and I look beautiful. It's what I look like. All right, got a good look at that. That's anatomical perfection right there. You know, Da Vinci can say whatever the fuck he wants, but he knows that this is what's up. He had to cave for market expectations, but he knows what the actual Vesuvian man. We all know what the actual Vitruvian man would have looked like. It would have looked like this, baby. It would have looked like me. Okay. Anyway, back to drawing these boots. I forget what kind of like. Oh yeah. Now I remember. God, these are some. I gave Aster some really tall friggin' boots. Oh yeah. I also learned today that apparently Australians have their word for like white trash guy. Apparently it's called bogan. Yeah, the podcast I was listening to had a show in Australia, and one of the commentators, the hosts invited over this dude who was a native Australian, mainly so that he could make like jokes that the audience would get as well. But like, it was a lot of fun, and he basically and he said like, this is the story of like the first bogan, and I had to look that up, and yeah, apparently it's basically the Australian equivalent of like white trash. The things you learn on the internet. Yeah, it's good to know that like white trash is like a universal concept instead of just like one that's like US specific or like North America specific. Okay. There we go. Nice. And because this time I'm smart and don't want to like do this thing twice, I'm just gonna copy and paste. Alright. Okay, Cinderella, time to get your shoe fitted. There we go. But yeah, am I like extra wide today? That feels weird. It doesn't feel right that I'm extra wide. Like, I'm already very wide. I feel like having additional width is just perhaps a little bit of overkill. You know? I don't mind being the wide guy. I don't mind being the wide tuber. But at the same time... Probably should... Wait, no. I'd have to do that during the painting stage anyway, so I'm not worried about that. I was gonna say, I have to, like... Maybe I should have, like, done the rose pattern first so I don't have to redo it, but I'm gonna do that during the coloring stage to begin with. So it's not really an issue. Alright, perfect. Look at him. He doesn't look that inside enough. Hang on. Attaboy. Yeah, the thing about Aster is that while he's definitely like... Yeah, he's definitely like a very kind of low energy person. There we go. Alright. So, okay, so little character sketches for him. Friggin'... Oh, right. First I have to do, like, the side portrait and everything first. Gotta keep these orders in operation. Or, wait, no. These operations in order. That reminds me of this one time I heard somebody say, like, please exit in a fashionable order. And some dude who was with them said, and exit in an orderly fashion. Alright. Like, they basically said the same thing, but, like, in reverse. I remember that being, like, really funny to me at the time. It's not that funny, but, like, it felt very witty at the time. You had to be there, I think. It was one of those things that, like, was in the heat of the moment. You know, you like laugh with your friends about something, and then like you try to remember what you were laughing so hard about, and even though you still laugh, you realize that, hey, maybe that's not so funny, but like it was funny then, and you still kind of like carry that memory and goodwill with you. That's I think very important too. You know, even if it's not objectively funny, the fact that it was funny at the moment is really important. You know, that kind of like that fond memory of it. Okay. This is a little too wide. Those specs are a little bit out of control. I don't want this guy to end up looking like the friggin' Rob Liefeld Captain America. If you guys have never seen that before, then, oh boy, I have quite the thing to show you today. So, there's a American comic book artist. Hang on. There is an American comic book artist called Robert Liefeld. And, I hate to shit on other people's art. He's just not very good. The guy's just not very good. He has some very odd quirks with his art, which is to say that it looks bad, really bad sometimes. So it looks kind of awful sometimes. And to give you an idea, this was when he drew Captain America. Like, we have like a very, obviously it's not going to be that bad, but like we are very much veering into this kind of territory. Yeah, this one's also really good. Yeah, look at the look at his shoes. God. Like I said, it's not healthy for... I don't think it's healthy for anybody to shit on other people's art. Because, you know, first of all, you don't know who could be listening at the time. Maybe somebody else is kind of not feeling very confident about their art at the time. And, you know, maybe they feel like, oh man, so maybe I should just give up. So that's not a good thing to do. However, I think in this case, it's objectively almost a moral imperative to do. But yeah, to give you an idea of like what I'm talking about with like Rob Liefeld. Okay, so his ears are going to be very clearly visible because of the way that his hair works. He's got like a little undercut action going on there. Okay, very kind of like sharp nose, I think. There we go. Yeah, you want to talk about thick boys. Robert Liefeld draws the thickest one. Damn, those eye bags. Yeah, no. Aster... Yeah, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say of this on Twitch, but Aster is like, out of like the main trio of characters that I have that are star-themed, Roland, Aster, and Sunny, he is definitely the one that's like most sleep-deprived, but also like most able to make up for it with narcotics. So like coffee and everything, and you know some other stuff too. But like he's definitely like not somebody who sleeps easily. I think at one point I even had him kind of like be narcoleptic, but I felt like that was maybe like I wouldn't be able to portray that accurately, so I decided to like not do that. But yeah, he can fall asleep very easily. Drunks. Yeah. Drums. Keep going, buddy. You've almost got it. Drunks. Yeah, those are the things you climb on a ladder. Alright. Yeah, climbing a ladder made out of jeans. The ladder. Damn, you're that small? What? Trunks. Yeah, I know that. Sorry, you're gonna have to walk me through that one. I am very small, though. I will say I am very small. Yeah, I learned the other day that apparently Pablo... Yeah. No? Okay. Yeah, I learned the other day that Pablo apparently means small, like, in terms of, like, names. So the fact that I called myself Pabs and my rice body is, like, only, like... I think it was, like, 4'5", according to the people who did it in, like, freedom units. I don't... I said I was, like, 140 centimeters tall for people who use sensible units of measurement. I will forever hold a grudge to the Imperial system. It just sucks and has no reason to continue being there. You know, some people are like, no, you can't get rid of Imperial. It's like, that's like getting rid of a currency. We get rid of currencies all the time. Ecuador used to have something called the sucre, and in like the... I don't remember when, actually. But at some point it got switched over to the American dollar. You know, that like nothing is eternal. Pent-up anger. I mean, definitely. Listen, I feel like I definitely have some kind of, like... I used to be a very angry kid, I think. You know, sometimes for no reason, sometimes for good reason, but, like, I definitely was, like, a kid whose head was, like, about to, like, explode like a cartoon kettle at some point. Okay, there we go. Okay. Kind of just getting it put together like that. And then just again, kind of like... This makes it look like he has some really weird mustache. Yeah, Astor, the man with the world's thinnest pencil-thin mustache. Okay. Then over here as well. Yeah, the main thing is to kind of like get rid of the big lines, because then getting rid of the smaller lines isn't gonna be that big of a deal. Probably shouldn't have gotten rid of the arm one though. I feel like that one might have been a mistake. But that shouldn't be too hard to grow. Oh wait, no, it's like right over here. I didn't get rid of it. It just like was all the way over here. Okay, and then that's gonna come on over here. There we go. All right. I should drink some water. Man, I think you can, like... If you're somebody who took melatonin at any point, I feel like you can, you know... I was about to say, like, recreationally. You don't take melatonin for recreation, I think, unless you kind of like being sleepy all the time. Fun. I wouldn't, but, you know. Who am I to judge? In any case, if you're somebody who used to take like melatonin, as somebody who used to take a lot of melatonin, I used to take a little bit of melatonin every night to sleep. I don't anymore. I don't need it anymore. But I used to do it for a while, and I do think that that was like a sign of mental distress. I like in retrospect, like that was 100% me, like trying to cope. Or like, you know, trying to return my sleep schedule to a normal thing. But I think like the reason I wasn't sleeping well was because of stress in retrospect. I'm saying this because I see my little bottle of melatonin right on top of my shelf there, and I realized that I haven't touched it in like years. I forgot this guy's other ear, haven't I? Oh yeah. Actually, no, it wouldn't be. I mean, it would be almost a year. I think like the last time I took melatonin was sometime in like. It really freaks me out whenever like I have to like look at their faces and they're not 100% turned around like this. It's get out of here, shoo. Yeah, it's like very weird because it's like they're turning their heads like an owl. It's like disturbing to me. Anyway, melatonin, right? I think the last time I took it was maybe during Drawtober. I think like definitely around the time I started streaming, I stopped taking it. So either that means that streaming has been tuckering me out enough that like I don't need it anymore, or that like, you know, my mental health improved, which is usually the opposite thing that happens whenever you start streaming. Or so I've heard. I don't know. I feel like whenever I stream, unless I like go on for like way too long, I usually feel pretty energized afterwards. Okay. So that's gonna... Okay, so we wouldn't have these lines here over on this angle. Okay, there we go. I forgot if his jacket had a logo on the back. For now, let's just leave it blank. Okay. From there we can do some character sketches. So yeah, in this one, for example, you can see that he's got like a barrel of toxic sludge, and he's like, "What do you got there? Hey, Aster, what you got there?" A smoothie. One time I saw toxic sludge be spelled like this. And now whenever I think of the word toxic sludge, I think of the word toxic sludge. Like... I don't know why it makes me laugh so much, but like it's just like one of those like misspellings that is just very hilarious to me. Another one of those is like concrete for concrete. I remember there's a very famous animated movie called Concrete or something like that. Or I don't know if it's particularly famous. I've been meaning to watch it. I remember somebody recommended it to me. Concrete. Yeah, cement. That's concrete, baby. Anyway, it was spelled something like Concrete. Something like that. And it's supposed to be like a bastardization of technical concrete, which was a very popular building material at the time. I think it's supposed to be about like psychic children or something. I'm not really sure. I still need to watch it. Apparently the animation is beautiful. And you know, I'm always a sucker for good animation. When I bother to watch the movie, that is. Yeah, I need to get better about just like biting the bullet and watching good movies, because I don't know why I put it off so often. I think I just don't make time for them. I'm like, oh, okay, like movie is approximately a 2 hour to an hour and a half kind of time commitment. On the other hand, 15-minute YouTube video is a 15-minute time commitment. So you can see the kind of like brain deterioration, but kind of like pragmatic choice there for a busy, enterprising individual like myself. Okay, so how about like... Okay, so first, like, maybe a sketch of him with the jacket off. God, wait, no, hang on. I have the opportunity to do something a little bit slutty with this outfit. So, like, and I think, like, it's gonna be very good. I don't know how good it'll be, but I feel like it's actually very good. Okay, so, like, y'all know those, like, muscle shirts that, like, have, like, the whole, like, all the way down here, right? Like, you can basically see the entire side of their body. What if this was one of those? Hang on. I feel like inspired now. Yeah, I don't know how to draw cute girls, but I come alive when it comes to drawing like weirdly slutty men. All right. Yeah, because like I also had that thing with Blanchard too, huh? Maybe I should look into that at some point. Like maybe I should unpack that at some point. Whatever. Now's not the time. Now it's time for muscle. Alright, hang on. Womp, womp, womp. Womp, womp. Womp. Okay, there we go. I feel like I just did, like... Whenever I talk like that, I remember that the Peanuts cartoon, because, like, all the adults used to talk like that, because, like, the kind of, like... Those shirts remind me of seeing a guy in just his... In high school, but his shit was just barely a shirt. Yeah, dudes will pick up anything and like say, like, hey, this could be a shirt. It's almost never a shirt, but, like, you know... I do miss, like, the fact that, like, guys could just, like, wear crop tops, so I feel like that would be very good in the summertime. You know, during the 80s, a man could just, like, go to the store and say, I would like to buy a crop top, please. And there would be no shaming of him. There would be no side-eye in public. The shopkeeper would be like, wow, what a trendy gentleman. And they would sell you one. What happened to that? When did that become not the norm? Because, honestly, if I could wear a crop top more often, I think, like, I would. Not because like I want to be particular the R and Roach shit. I mean, honestly, it makes more sense almost if you say like his shit was barely a shirt. I feel like that's almost funnier. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not like pro and like I don't have a particular agenda other than like staying breezy in the summertime. I like the summertime, don't get me wrong, but I do recognize that it's, like, piping hot in here. But yeah, I feel like this is like a fun extra little quirk, because... Then it's kind of more obvious that the jacket isn't supposed to belong to him. You know, like it's meant to be more obvious that the jacket is kind of like a borrowed thing, but like I feel like it just kind of enhances the whole thing. It's like a little paprika on this bad boy. I don't know why paprika is like my go-to spice for everything, considering that apparently it doesn't actually have a flavor of its own. Like apparently it's supposed to just be MSG or like MSG light, you know? But like I feel like paprika does have a slight flavor. I feel like it has like a kind of sweet, kind of smoky flavor. Speaking of things with really good animation, I still need to finish watching Paprika at some point. I remember I actually watched it very near the time when it came out, but I haven't actually seen the whole movie. Yeah. I remember it's made by the same guy who made Perfect Blue, so it's got to get kind of like even weirder. I remember the part that I got to was already kind of really weird, but like it can get weirder. He does not look nearly as sturdy as he should in this one. Hang on, I'm gonna make him wider. There we go. Okay, from there, what kind of sketches do we got for this guy? I should turn on the light. Let's see. What would be good for him? He's standing like that one guy with the tall girl interviewer. Yeah, like... Hang on. I forgot who... I keep forgetting who that guy is, but like... I know exactly which picture you're talking to. Which picture you're talking about. Yeah, this one, right? Okay, then if that's the case, I might actually, hang on. I know how to make him, like, less indignant looking. Hang on, skew... There we go. Now he looks a little bit more normally stanced. Ooh, those were some spicy cracks. Okay. Maybe like he's like putting something in his mouth that he shouldn't be putting in, like a bolt or something. What about like yeah, the thing is that Aster is very much kind of like a very okay, this one's actually kind of cute. I think I'll do this one. Okay. So yeah, and this one he's just kind of like taking a nap under his jacket. Why does my room suddenly smell like gasoline? Well, so long as I don't light a match, it should be fine. Alright. Yeah, God. I'm pouring some... No! Please! I know it's supposed to get rid of ticks, but I don't have ticks. Alright? God. Yeah, the podcast I was listening to earlier, the one that I was listening to, the show that it was like a live show in Australia, right? And this is still in the middle of like the Trump presidency. So at the time Australia was taking some very right-wing measures. So they were like, you know, the great thing is that America and Australia both have start with an A, so you guys can also MAGA. And I'm like, oh wow, things really were that fucking bleak back then, huh? I mean, it's not like they've gotten particularly better, but like, goddamn. Oh, hello. How you doing, Ankaro? What is that? Ankaro Joker. Oh, you have your own emotes. That's rad. Okay. You're good? Hey, that's great to hear. Alright. Okay, and the jacket is probably gonna like have the other sleeve fall around there. Okay, from there... Actually, I think it would be good if I flipped this one around, you know, had it on the opposite side, because he's already got like a bunch of... Neo-C? No, this guy's actually... yeah, he's one of the older ones. Yeah, Aster's actually been an OC of mine for a while, I think? Definitely almost as long as Roland. Maybe not as long, but like, for quite a while. Yeah, you can see the old version of him here. Yeah. His body proportions changed a little bit since I'm using the 3D models now. But yeah, I think Aster was definitely always kind of gangster guy. He does look pretty thuggish, huh? Yeah, with the eye bags and everything. Yeah, he does look kind of thuggish, and you know that's almost by design as well, because like he is supposed to be like involved with criminals. Alright, so kind of like a history of Aster. He was always supposed to be connected to like the main antagonist of the story. Like that's like been a consistent thing. But the way he's been connected has always varied. Like in some cases he was like 100% loyal, in other cases he eventually defected. That's the case here. He eventually does realize that Ben is just kind of a self-serving asshole, and he does eventually just leave him on red, basically. And, but yeah, his age is also varied a little bit, because I remember I made him significantly older than a lot of the characters around him at one point, but then I also made him, like, the same age. Yeah, he used to wear, like, a turtleneck sweater. Yeah, he looked a little bit different. He also used to have a very creepy mask. And I think I can still like draw what he used to look like. So kind of the same hair. I think he used to have like a proper undercut back in the day. I remember just associating this hairstyle with like really big douchebags, so I gave him one. I don't think he had a widow speak actually. Yeah, okay, so kind of like a simplified version. He had a turtleneck sweater. It had like the buttons up here because it was like some kind of like sailor sweater. He was always supposed to be really big, and he was also supposed to carry around a battering ram as his weapon, like a big old kind of like battering ram, like this big. Like way bigger than that. Like it was bigger than his body, and that used to be his weapon. He used to just sling that thing around. Nowadays, I don't think he actually has like a set weapon. Oh yeah, his mask also looks something like... Hang on. Kind of like... this, almost. It was supposed to be like a really demented smiling face. I remember that used to be part of like this cult subplot or something. Man, young me had some really fucking buck wild ideas. I thought you were going to draw a furry. Not yet. Not yet, Ferb. Give it time, honestly. Actually, no, I've already drawn furries. I drew that guy from Arknights who's basically a furry. Sus? Listen. I'm tired of pretending that, like, furries are cringe, honestly. Like, yeah, obviously, the fuck you called me Ferb? yeah, you know, like that one meme. Hang on. Yeah, anyway, I feel like I'm tired of pretending that, like, furries aren't kind of fun, you know? Like, it's fun having, like, a fursona. I don't have one, but, like, I feel like it's fun to just be a little guy. I mean, like, I feel like that's very much throwing stones in a glass house. I'm a guy made of rice, alright? I am, like, 1 degree... I am, like, one animal... I'm, like, one scientific paths fursona era. Listen, I'm already a sentient bag of rice, alright? I am like one scientific classification away from being a animal person, alright? I feel like me and animal person is basically the same. You know, a lot of like furry stuff is still like 100% like, oh yeah, it's all about the sex aspect of it, and like that is true. It's like inseparable from the community. That's true. That's a fair criticism. But at the same time, it's like it doesn't have to be that profound of a thing for you to enjoy it, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm the one overthinking it, but like, I don't really care either way. I feel like some of the like perspective on this is wrong, but whatever. Okay, here we go. Alright, and then from there... okay, that's one of the sketches done. again, I feel like the burning down a building one is kind of inappropriate, given that that's like a traumatic element of his backstory. Especially if he says some shit like, it happened again. Like, that's almost kind of insensitive to him. Okay, from there, what else can he do? First, I want to thin up the lines on this part here. Please don't use those words in my chat. I don't like seeing them, and I don't like thinking about them. Yeah, don't use those words in my chat, please. And Karo, don't use those words in my chat. I'm gonna have to put my foot down on that one. Don't use those words in my chat. No, don't smile. This is not like a jokey thing. Don't use those, okay? Yeah, this is me like being like legitimately serious. All right, do you want me to like put on my serious face? I can put on my serious face. Yeah, don't use those words in here. Thank you. All right, man. I really do joke a lot about a lot of things, so much so that like I forget that I actually have like a serious expression. But yeah, I do have those. But so yeah, again, don't use those. Thank you for being respectful. Don't use those words. Thank you. All right, back to whatever the hell I was talking about. Oh yeah, apparently by the next year, tequila and mezcal are going to outsell whiskey in the U.S., which is kind of impressive. Yeah, I read about that recently. Apparently, tequila and other kind of agave-based drinks are gonna start kind of outcompeting whiskey and such, for a couple of reasons. Yeah, hey, yeah, no, party hard. Yeah, first of all, apparently, like, as far as like alcohol can be good for you, it's a little bit less worse for you to drink a bit of tequila than to drink like a thing of whiskey, because apparently it actually has fewer of the, like, certain drinks actually have fewer, like, there is like a specific thing that they've narrowed down. Like, they have like a specific thing that gives you hangover. I forgot what it's called, but like there is a name for the chemical that gives you hangovers. And tequila actually has marginally fewer of those compared to the... Thank you for motivating me to drink more. Oh no. This is not the plan. Yeah, congeners, they're called. Congeners. Congeners? It's like... It's spelled like that. But basically those are the kind of like special chemicals in alcohol that give you hangovers. And apparently tequila has slightly fewer of those. That's not to say you won't get a hangover. You will still get a hangover if you drink a lot, but like, fewer. Less drastic than if you had a whiskey drink, and then a cider drink, and a drink to remind him of the good times, and a drink to remind him of the better times. And I got knocked down. I got up again. Alright. Seriously though, what other kind of sketches can I do? I need to like look at my past sketchbooks to kind of figure out like some kind of goofs related to Aster, because he really is kind of hilarious, because he's like one of those people who takes everything seriously. Maybe that's something I can do though, like yeah, he's like one of those people who takes things at kind of like literal levels. I should have like a thing of backup lines somewhere around here. Whoop. Accidentally vanished my entire desktop. I hate it when like I click out of like a small area on my desktop and all of a sudden like it decides, like Windows decides like, oh yeah, you wanted to click out of that desktop area? Well, I guess you don't need the rest of this thing then. It's very cruel. Alright, hang on. It should be somewhere around here. I need to organize this sketchbook better, because I've been using it for just about everything. Which is fun because it's all in one place, but it's also not fun because then I have to like actively look for it if I lose it. Come on, buddy. I know you're in here somewhere. Yeah. There it is. Okay. So... Okay, so yeah, maybe one of him like feeling like looking like really strong, because like one of his things as well is that like he's a surprisingly good fighter, but the problem is he's so messed up from lack of sleep. He has like so many like different like things contributing to like a thick mental fog that he actually has like a very poor reaction time compared to other fighters in the series. So, you know, whenever he if he takes enough damage, he actually like clears his brain fog a little, and that made him a much better fighter. That was like one of the things that I had about his character here. I'm not sure if in real life pain kind of like clears away brain fog. If anything, I feel like it would make it worse. But this is fiction, and I'm allowed to be a little bit dramatic like that. What clears brain fog? Pain. Yeah, like I said, that's not a real thing. I am 90% sure that pain does not in fact clear brain fog and in fact makes it worse. But my idea for this guy is that he, past a certain point, he would have his brain fog cleared if he took enough damage in a fight, and that's when, like, you know, shit would get real. Yeah. Deciding, like, shonen powers for your characters is always a lot of fun, because you can do some really whack stuff to them as well. Yeah, like for example, I remember that like one of the scenes that he had with Roland was that Roland would kind of catch him in one of those flying arm bars, which basically means that if Aster moved too much, he would basically dislocate his elbow, which is really bad. But you know, he basically pressed through it anyway and basically slammed Roland on the ground. You know, he broke his arm in the process, but he was like, yeah, that was worth it. Okay. Yeah, no, actually I explicitly remember him, like, looking at his now, like, weirdly bending the other way arm and being like, ah, shit. like he was just like, okay, wait, no, if I can get out of this by slamming him to the ground, that's the best solution, let's go, let's do it. And then after he breaks his arm, he's like, oh shit, my arm. Yeah, Aster is by far, technically speaking, the worst fighter of the three of them, but he has like enough like raw stamina and strength to keep up at least a little bit. You know, he kind of gets left in the dust because he doesn't have any bullshit martial arts like Roland and Sunny. Like, Sunny has like that weird sword style that I gave her, and Roland has his own style called the Way of the Moon. Aster doesn't really have anything like that. He knows a couple of like basics about martial arts, but like besides that, he is like very much just like a very strong dude who is trying to fight for the first time ever. Yeah, he's more of like an intimidation factor than a proper combatant. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, then over there. Cool, cool, cool. Speaking about brain fog, I'm gonna go make coffee because I'm so sleepy. Dude, go to bed. Did you say you got very little sleep this week? You should try fixing that first. Well, I'm not the boss of you, though. I feel like I'm kind of obligated to say that. You know, as your friend, I care about you. I did. Oh, you did sleep first, but you're still sleepy? Okay, yeah, that's fair then. We all need coffee a little bit then, sometimes. Oh, or are you saying you did mention that you got very little sleep this week? In which case, my sincerest sympathies. Yeah. Had normal sleep last night, but I'm permanently sleepy. Yeah, I feel like... And this is going to be kind of pessimistic as well. My counselor, I believe. I don't actually remember what her job title was. But my counselor in high school had a small session with the kids in my grade about sleep hygiene, because we were in a pretty tough kind of like learning program, and you know, it often came at the cost of our sleeping schedules to kind of keep up with the course workload. And you know, that's not great, but obviously it's I did get some benefits from clearing the program, so it's I don't really regret what I've done. But she basically said that, like, you can't undo sleep debt. Like, sleep debt is, like, permanent, basically. So if you don't sleep for one night, then you've basically made yourself tired for life. And while I somehow doubt that, like, there's more and more evidence that she's correct. Not scientific, but, like, just kind of like how I feel. Like, I've stayed up all night a couple nights in my lifetime. And, don't feel great. Do not feel fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it's also the fact that, like, I just, like, sleep. I think I sleep enough, but, like, maybe, like, not as fitfully as I should. I don't know. I don't know what I can do to improve my sleeping. Besides sleep more, but also even that I feel like isn't enough. Maybe it's just like the mounting stress as well. Maybe that's also making me sleepy. Wait, hang on. I got an idea for a pretty funny one. I was saving this for a character who was supposed to be like an ex-prisoner. But I think it also fits with him because, like, he does also abuse, like, caffeine, like, a lot. Alright. I wonder if hang on. There has to be, like, a ruler brush for this. Hang on. I need to find something. Yeah, waved line. Or, like, rough-edged. Okay, I've got an idea for how to do this. Don't know if it'll work out, but it'll be. But I think I can, like, you know, I feel like I can juggle some of this. God, this smile is so goofy. I actually like this look on him. Oh yeah. Also, after I finished, like, whatever, like, once I'm satisfied with whatever I've done on The Sims 3, I think the next game I'm going to be playing is definitely going to be Resident Evil 4. I've been meaning to get to it for a while, but, like, I really want to play it again, and somehow it feels right to do it during the summertime. You know, like, I feel like the two best times for horror stuff are the summertime and, you know, obviously Halloween. I wouldn't exactly call Resident Evil 4 horror, but, like, it's definitely, like... Yeah, I wouldn't exactly call it, like, light either. Yeah. I mean, it's got its fair moment of, like, scary stuff. Like, I remember when alright, that's maybe, like, a little bit unfair of me to say, because I remember it did freak the hell out of me when I was, like, 6 years old and watching my older cousin and my brother play with it. You know, I was, like, just a kid, so, like, I got very easily spooked by all the zombie nonsense. Yeah, what else happened? But, oh yeah, but, like, there's also, like, an enemy in there that's just, like, this really weird invisible thing, and I remember that actually kind of, like, got to me a little bit as well. I was like, I don't want to keep playing this level. That's scary, that's too scary by far. Because, like, you know, I think like Resident Evil 4 is definitely kind of like where the series, I've been told at least, like it's where the series definitely started to turn into like more of like a B movie pastiche of zombie movies until they eventually brought it back around to like proper survival horror with like Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8. I still don't know what happens in Resident Evil 6. I'm pretty sure Leon dies. I don't know what fucking happens to Leon. I played like one mission of Resident Evil 6 with my friend at one time, and we both like died really easily. So it was a bit tough to know what to do with, or like tough to know what the hell was going on in that game. I remember that like friggin' that blonde dude, Jack something. Wait, was it Jack? It wasn't Krauser. Krauser was like Leon's weird kind of nemesis or something, but like Wesker, Albert Wesker, that's the bastard. Albert Wesker had like a kid, and he was in there for some reason. Man, I should like play the Resident Evil games and then try to really badly recount their story. Okay. Okay, I feel like this eye would have to be a little bit more to the right. If I put the nose ridge like around there. There we go. Okay, and there we go. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, and then from there... Okay, kind of over here. Alright, okay, there we go. This is like a very menacing kind of expression almost. I feel like this is a little menacing. Alright, so we go from there. Nice, okay. And maybe actually lower him even a little bit more. Okay. And from there, I think like maybe one more sketch, and then I think we're ready to just like give him his personal items and then start coloring. Okay. Then... Huh. Let me see if I've got anything here that might like inspire a bit. Because I remember that like... I don't know how everybody else does it, because I don't consider myself like a... It's weird to say like I don't consider myself a writer. Oh man, did I not like write it down? Did I not keep it? I think I might not have moved it over to my new computer. Hang on. Oh my god, I didn't move it to my new computer. Basically, for the longest time, I've had an idea for like a webcomic starring these characters that I've just never executed upon because making a webcomic is difficult. It is very, very difficult and extremely thankless. And I know this because I know a lot of other people who made webcomics. I've read about their experiences, and every single one of them is like, yeah, unless you like really enjoy this, you're just gonna have an awful fucking time doing it. But I still want to do it. because I love the art of comics. I love I love the kind of things that comics make me feel, and I would like to contribute to that medium in some meaningful capacity. Okay, here we go. But that's kind of difficult because again, I am in a little bit of a time crunch on the best of days. I'm on a bit of a time crunch, so it's tough. What was I gonna do? Right, I'm looking like for any kind of potential sketches I've done of Aster. Like I said, he's not like he's not a dude who has like a lot of. God, okay, I'll talk about that later. But like, yeah, Aster isn't a character who has a lot of like personal ambitions. I think he is like very much dependent on others. I think as a character. Okay, I've got an idea. How about just like giving him like a forgetful episode? Okay, that seems like a good one. That seems like a good one. Just having him have like some kind of memory problem. Also, I feel like his teeth should be a little bit bigger here. God, he looks so emo in this one. He looks very... he looks very chuny. Alright. Okay. Okay, I know what to do. Okay, so maybe he's like carrying a clipboard or like a briefcase or something. Yeah, clipboard might actually make more sense. He is supposed to be like a science guy. Alright, so holding a clipboard, right? Hang on. I need to like hold something thin and kind of heavy. Okay, I think I know how to do it. No, this is like pressed a little too tight. I need to extend it out a little bit. And kind of around here. Oh yeah, apparently it's gonna be like some kind of thing something is going on Bandcamp soon, I think. Like, they're doing one of those events. If you don't know what Bandcamp is, it's basically a website where a lot of independent musicians who aren't with like super big labels just yet kind of post their music and they put it there so you can buy it. And Bandcamp is actually very good about that. Unlike a lot of other sites, Spotify, unlike a lot of other sites, they actually give the artists quite a good share of the cut, quite a decent cut of the profits, like almost 100% of it, basically. And on some days, they have Bandcamp Fridays where all of the money that you spend on an album goes towards the artist. So that's pretty rad. And I try to buy stuff on Bandcamp Friday because, like, Lord knows that I'm more than happy to legally acquire my music, but it has like a special kind of significance if I know the artist who made it is getting paid well for it, when they're also kind of like independent, or like maybe they don't have as many resources as like a big name artist. Yeah, I've been looking for like more Bandcamp recommendations. I remember one of the guys that I found on there that I really liked is Too Mellow. He's a lot of fun. A lot of kind of electronic music. Some of it kind of like hip hop, very. I think some of them have raps in them, but overall, a very chill dude. I like his music, and he actually makes soundtracks for a few games, I think, as well. Okay. Alright, so what would be a funny thing for him to forget? I feel like maybe he forgot to gel his hair that day. I feel like that would be kind of like innocent enough. Hang on, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. I couldn't reach the mute button in time. I always try to mute the microphone whenever I'm about to sneeze, but it looks like I wasn't quick enough on the draw that time. Okay, here we go. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, yeah, I think he's just gonna like have his mouth hanging up in a little bit. God. Yeah, these are some really good expressions. The thing about Aster is that he's like a very kind of like deadpan guy, but he has like the funniest expressions out of the three of them, I think. Well, okay, I think like another thing I could maybe do instead of having him be on fire, because that was Plan A. I don't know if I said that before, but but Plan A was basically to have his head on fire, and he was just like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Hang on. Without hair, Aster looks a little bit like Eminem. I feel like this is what young Eminem looks like a little bit. But yeah, I feel like I could do something funnier. Probably not a good idea to make like a Demon Core reference on a character's art fight sheet, right? Yeah, I think that might be a step too far. It's not like the Demon Core was like a particularly spectacular tragedy, but I feel like I'm just gonna ruin somebody's day if they have to look up what the Demon Core was. God. Yeah, if you don't know what the Demon Core is, oh boy. Basically, during the times when we hadn't fully understood radiation, still now we don't understand radiation, but like, you know, when we particularly didn't understand radiation, some dudes conducted radioactive experiments using what is called the Demon Core. So what this was is that it was like a little ball, probably about the size of a bowling ball, honestly, split down the middle like this, and, you know, hamburger style. And inside of that lead ball was a hunk of plutonium, I think? Something extremely radioactive. And basically the idea was that you would use a screwdriver and a kind of like little key thing to basically lift the top half of the cap off just a little bit so that the radiation would go into like one specific direction. And usually that would be like toward whatever they were experimenting with. And one time, this dude, one of the guys who was in the room while the experiments were going on, burned his hand on coffee. I think that was like what happened. He burnt his hand on coffee, and essentially that he yelled, and that startled the guy who was manipulating the ball, and he basically just flipped that thing open. The plutonium was fully exposed, and everybody in the room got a lethal dose of radiation. Not lethal as in like it kills you immediately, but lethal as in like you are 100% gonna die of radiation poisoning. Kind of lethal dose, which isn't great. I remember watching like a dramatization of the event on YouTube, and basically the first thing that they said after he shut the lid back on the orb was basically like, nobody move, because that way because if they moved, they wouldn't be able to calculate, with the ironically enough, with the kind of like physics they were experimenting with to figure out more about radiation. They needed to calculate how close each of them was and just how screwed they were in terms of radiation poisoning. And it turns out the answer was pretty screwed. Yeah, radiation is not something to you don't mess around with radiation, I don't think. But yeah, that's the story of the Demon Core. Moral of the story: have like a robot do it. They didn't have robots at the time, but now we do. Have a robot do it. Don't do it yourself. Okay, I think that's pretty good for like a screen there. Or actually, maybe I can like flip the screen around and have it on this side. Whoops, hang on. There we go. I keep forgetting that if I shift click this to transform it, it doesn't just kind of like make it so that it transforms evenly. It also makes it so that it transforms in like one very specific way, which isn't always good. Okay, and then for his personal items. What kind of personal items does Aster have? Oh wait, no. Hang on, I have one more sketch for him. I think I'm going to get rid of this one. I think I'm going to copy and paste this, and I'm going to get rid of this one. Because I feel like it just clashes a bit too much with the rest of them. Okay, there we go. Alright, hang on. I feel like, because like the thing is, right, ironically enough, between him, Sonny, and Roland, he somehow has like the least amount of impulsive decisions throughout. No, I think I'm gonna keep this one. It's a little bit, it freaks me out a little bit, but I think that's the point, right? But yeah, I realized that like even though Aster was supposed to be the guy with anger issues, he somehow turned out to be the one who made like the highest number of like rational decisions in the mock-up of the story. Like he's supposed to be like the hot-headed guy, but like he ended up being like surprisingly sensible through it all. And again, that's because like he doesn't actually have a stake in anything. I really have to flesh out his personality a bit more. I also need to learn a little bit more about like home engineering or something, so I can like give him some stupid things to do in here. I remember one dude made a YouTube video where he basically made a gun out of like... Okay, so he basically took a gun and kind of like modified it in internally to basically become one huge pneumatic weapon. And at the end of the gun, at the end of like the thing that it shot out, he put a giant fist. So basically, like it was just a gun that punched things really, really hard. He also used it to split firewood, which is a much more effective use of his time. Alright, so personal items. What kind of personal items does he have? I remember that I actually had him just like have pocket lint. Because like he just doesn't really have any personal possessions. Okay. Alright, so some personal items for Esther. Well, let me keep looking. Maybe I'll find something. I know he has a weapon as well. He has like this weird scythe-looking thing that is pretty wicked looking. But I'm not feeling that one today. How about like hair gel or hair dye? Maybe that's something. Oh, okay. What about like okay. So what about like aerosol hair dye? Because I know that's a thing. I know that like people sell hair dye in like aerosol cans and like you can remove it pretty easily with water. But I feel like he would probably have a can of it because like, you know, he needs to like maybe touch up the roots or something, but he doesn't have enough time to do a proper session. Yeah, he has like dyed hair as well. Oh yeah. I remember one time I read a graphic novel called The Prince of Cats. Really good. I highly recommend it, mainly because of its really good art style. Essentially, it's a... I don't know how to describe it as effectively. Basically, it's a retelling of the first half of Romeo and Juliet from the perspective of Tybalt, who is, in the original story, a side character whose death kind of kicks off like the kind of like third act conflict of the story. Yeah, spoilers for a play that's more than 200 years old, by the way. But yeah, The Princess Cat deals with Tybalt, and it's also set in like in kind of an 80s New York. It looks very kind of cyberpunk. It looks very cyberpunk. It's a very good comic. I think it's a really good comic. I enjoyed reading it quite a bit. And I remember one of the things that I learned from it specifically was that because in this version of the story, I think Mercutio, I think, or one of the characters from the original novel was basically a one-armed graffiti artist. Again, very cool kind of thing. Who also had a khopesh as a sword. Yeah, these guys not only are like in 80s New York, but they also have like swords as they would in the play. Yeah, Tybalt himself has like has a pretty sweet looking katana, and I think it was Mercutio. Anyway, Mercutio, or one of the side characters whose death again kind of kicked off the plot, was a spray artist, a street artist. And what he did in the comic is that he used a razor blade to slit a nozzle of the spray can to get a much finer kind of angle on it. So that's a really cool little thing. I didn't know that you could do that. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that's the can of hairspray paint. Hair dye? Can't hair dye? Aerosol hair dye. There we go. Third time's a charm. And oh, probably should put like one of those like flammable symbols on there. Okay, then after that, what else would be good? Still looking here. Maybe like something for some kind of first aid kit or something. He wouldn't carry that around though. I think like he'd just try to shrug it off. What would he have? Why does he have spray on hair paint? Oh, because sometimes he gets a little too busy and he doesn't have time to touch up the roots properly. Yeah, I feel like it suits him. Not to mention he can just light it on fire if he needs a weapon. Yeah, I'm still looking for like different kind of things. Krusty. Listen, he is not a guy that takes care of himself, okay? Aster is like I don't know how to put it. What's the inverse of a peak? I remember there was like a math term for it, like trow. Yeah, he's not the trow of self-care. He's not the peak of self-care. He's like the trow of self-care. He's not very good at taking care of himself, basically. What else would he have? Okay, so a can of hairspray paint. Maybe okay, no, not a lighter. I wouldn't have him like have a lighter with it. That's like too much. That's too much. Okay, what about... Coward? Listen, I already gave him a scythe that is made out of an exhaust pipe. I don't know what more I can give him. Besides, I already have another character who uses canned hairspray as a weapon. Almost exclusively, in fact. Okay, hang on. Why do I have so many notes about nonsense? God damn it. Find something useful. Alright. There has to be something in here. Come on, buddy. There has to be one funny comic in here. You've made so many. Ah, fuck it. We freeball this. Freestyle. I keep not realizing that freeball does not in fact mean wing it. I didn't know what it meant before. It's like when I kept mixing up like loafers and Oxfords, but because I didn't know what like a word meant in there. I mean, freeball also means like freestyle, right? Freehand. No, freehand is different. Alright, hang on. Okay, yeah, no, it is exactly what... Okay, so freeballing does not have any other alternative interpretations in terms... Yeah, freehand, freeball, freestyle. There's too many free things in this world. Free. There are too many things left open to interpretation in this world. Oh, what about like... Okay, so what about like a personal mix of coffee grounds? I feel like that would actually suit him pretty well. You know, he has a little bit of a background in chemistry. So I feel like making his own coffee grounds should not be out of the question. He would drink that death coffee stuff. Yes, he would. Yeah, that is undeniable. He is exactly the kind of guy who would do that. Yeah, I have to try out the decaffeinated coffee I got recently. God, this Wednesday feels like a Thursday too. This week has lasted 13 eons, and yet I feel like I still haven't gotten anything done. What a load of shit, huh? There's weeks like that. You know, Mama said there'd be days like this. Oh, Mama said. Okay, it's over here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And maybe like a coffee filter down here too. I know that in some cultures it's okay for children to drink coffee, like basically right out the gate. Like if they're old enough to enjoy breakfast, they're old enough to drink coffee. But to be fair, they also usually really sugarize the coffee. They add a lot of sugar. So I'm not sure exactly coffee culture around the world is super interesting to me. I really want to try Turkish coffee at some point. It would probably kill. I would probably keel over from caffeine overdose on the spot, but I feel like it would be worth it. Okay, so that's item 2. What would be item 3? Lucky item number 3. I feel like he very fondly remembers some stuff from his high school. Like he actually did have quite a few friends at that point, so maybe some kind of what would be a good memento for him to have? I don't know. Look, I was gonna say a ring, but that seems a bit much. Maybe, I don't know, maybe on a necklace or something? Oh man, what if he had half of one of those best friend necklaces? That would be so cute. Maybe it'd have to be something different though. Maybe not a proper necklace, because then there'd be the question of okay, then why isn't he wearing it? What about... Oh yeah, there's also something called a promise ring, right? God, I remember that for a time, for whatever reason, I was really interested in mood rings. I can't express why, but for some reason I was it's a ring and it changes colors depending on your mood? Neat! Is a promise ring just another word for a wedding ring? It might be. I'm not sure. Okay, I think a promise drink, a promise drink, a promise ring is a wedding ring, but but when you're not getting married. So it's just kind of a nice ring for your significant other, which is weird. I don't know why that's weird to me. I feel like you should be able to give people rings even if it's not that serious. Okay, then what about a friendship token? This one is rather morbid. I'd be in pieces without you. Did it have to have the butcher knife, my friend? Was the butcher knife in this image entirely necessary is my question. I feel like maybe that was unnecessary. I feel like you could have... I feel like there's other things that you could put there. What about a coin? What about a lucky coin that he got as a gift from someone? I feel like that would be good. I feel like that would be kind of more up his alley. Yeah, okay. So maybe almost a fantasy silver dollar. What is a silver dollar like these days anyway? Yeah, silver dollars have a $1 face value, but are at least 90% silver. Produced and sold for collectors in some of our popular numismatic series, today's silver dollars are available with proof and uncirculated finishes, and showcase some of our nation's most revered symbols, as well as tributes to people, institutions, and events that changed American history. Whatever. $67! What the hell? Huh. Okay. What about a doubloon? That might be more interesting. I don't think... This can't be real, right? Like, hang on. This can't be a real coin. This is what you put. This is what you print on a fake coin that you like make chocolates into. Okay, yeah, this seems like it'd be more likely. Apparently, it was a Spaniard invention. Yeah, apparently the Spaniards used to have something called escudos as a currency. I see. Alright then. One doubloon. Yeah, okay. What I think, like, maybe he... Okay, so story that I'm cooking up in the back of my head. By the way, his kind of like high school friend that I was talking about is Sunny. She was friends with him in high school, and they haven't really kept in touch, but they are still pretty close. You know, when they kind of reunite eventually. Yeah, Sunny had like a thing for finding dead bodies and such, so I think like maybe what happened is that they had like a Goonies style kind of high school adventure where they found like a treasure trove of gold, but like for some, but they've basically realized like, hey, if we take this, people are definitely going to come after us, so let's just like take one coin each, and let's do and say we didn't, yeah, and that's basically their idea. All right, so what about? Alright, so here's what I'm thinking for the coin. Magnus Rex. And it has just like some dude on there. Didn't they used to like put S as something else in like Greek? Or am I thinking of U's? I'm definitely thinking of U's. I'm thinking of like how they turn V's into U's. Alright, hang on. Yeah, and maybe the face on here is kind of like worn. Okay, there we go. And just narrow that down a little bit. Perfect. All right, we got everything we need here. Alright, the thickness of this line here is bothering me. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Alright, turn on the first layer here. Okay, grab... The pants and the shirt are gonna be probably two of the biggest ones that I have to deal with. I don't know why I shaded this one, but not the other ones as well. I think like I just felt like getting fancy with it. I'm not sure. Okay, then how about... Okay, so here... Alright, so the shirt. I forgot what a pleasant shade of red this shirt was. I also need to remember to make up a new logo for this fool. That might take a minute. Should drink some water. Okay. Then over down here too. Okay. And the skin tone as well. There we go. And the skin tone as well. Can't forget that. Oh, looks like I missed a spot back here with the eraser. We'll take care of that right now. Okay. Here we go. Perfect. Okay. Oh, missed a spot here with the hair. I also realize now that this wouldn't make any sense if the ears are at this angle. Okay, there we go. I really like how this expression came out. Oh wow. Hey Toast, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hi Raiders, I'm Pabs, a Rising VTuber and artist, and today we're updating some sheets for Art Fight. How's your stream, bud? How you doing? Hell yeah, Toast Raid. Oh yeah, I'm so proud of myself for finally getting stream elements to automatically thank the Raiders. How's mine going? It's going good actually. I'm quite liking how this guy came out. It's still a work in progress, but I think I nailed some good parts of him. Whoops. Overflow problem. There we go. And hang on. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Alright. But yeah, some good expressions on this one. Okay, then... What else does he have? He has a jacket to kind of get going there. Pants as well. I need to remember to fill in the pants while I still can. Alright. Yeah, I don't... he looks a little less wide than before, which bothers me, but I feel like, you know, if it's for good anatomy, I don't mind it so much. A small price to pay for good anatomy. Okay, just kind of erase that out. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, and then from there, we got some more jackets to fill out here. This is a spot with a skin tone right here. Okay. Yeah, the jacket. I also missed jacket lines over here. Everything's missing from this one. But it's good though. It's good that it has like that kind of sketchy style. I think like it suits the kind of emotion there pretty well. Okay. Here we go. Okay. From there, what other colors were there on here? There were the boots. I really like his boots, honestly. I wish I had a pair of boots like that. Oh my goodness, I almost gave him Tim's. That would be something, wouldn't it? You just have this one dude who looks like he needs to sleep for a week and a half, but somehow he's wearing the freshest kicks you've ever seen in your life. That's just what university is like, I think. Okay. There we go, there we go, there we go. Man, I remember, like, it must have been almost a year ago now. How long was it ago? Friggin'... It must have been after 2020. I think it was, like, sometime early 2021. I don't think I'd graduated yet. When I was a teenager, I listened to a not insubstantial amount of the album "This Unruly Mess I've Made" by Macklemore. And remembering this, I decided to give it a little listen, you know, for the good times, you know, revisit it now that I have older perspectives and perhaps can understand the lyrics a little better. It's not nearly as good as I remember it being. It's kind of bad, actually. It's not a good album. I didn't like it all that much. There are still some bangers on there, but like, not. It's not that good. It's not as good as I remember it being. I never thought I'd say that of friggin' Macklemore of all things is my problem. I didn't expect myself to somehow become nostalgic for Macklemore of all things. I don't think I really am nostalgic for it. I think like I just remember it being good, and now it's just not good. So honestly, I'm not sure what I was expecting. Oh wait, here we go. Here's another thing that we can fill in. The little side hair thing. The little bald part, the close-shaved part of the undercut. Oh, nope, hang on. There we go. But yeah, it's not exactly nostalgia so much as like, wow, I had some shit taste as a kid. I mean, to be perfectly fair, I probably have some bad taste now, but like, it becomes emphasized to a point, you know? I like to think that I had decent music taste. Or at least, like, I'd like to think that I have decent music taste. We all like to think that. The thing is that music is just one of those really objective things. So you're never going to have good music taste to everyone. There's definitely going to be people you vibe with and people you don't vibe with. You know, there's this whole kind of like spectrum of people. But I think I have a fairly good music taste. And again, this is something that happens to everybody. Like, you think like, yeah, everybody has a unique music taste, and they're not like, I'm not entitled for them to like what I listen to. Except for me. They have to like everything that I like because it's just very good, objectively speaking. I feel like that just is a very universal experience when it comes to music. Like, you show your buddy a song that you think is fire, and they just don't react with anything. They look like they're listening to Martian music. Yeah, my family had a phrase for when people look at you as if you've done something really strange, and that's called mirándote como bicho raro, which basically means looking at you like some kind of weird bug. I think it came from Mafalda, that expression, but boy, if it doesn't hit. Okay, okay, I'm missing the eyes. That's what I'm missing. I'm missing the eyes. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure he would have like those really. I'm not sure he would have those really green eyes anymore. I feel like I just felt like they were a good contrast to the red, but I don't think so anymore. I feel like there has to be a better color that we can make them. A different color at least. God, this expression is still actually kind of terrifying. Okay. There we go. I could just give him plain brown eyes. That wouldn't be so bad. What about the really dark blue eyes? Like so dark they basically look black. None of these colors are particularly kind of what I'm looking for. Aquamarine? No. Nah. Maybe like bright brown? That's also not really it. What if... Okay, so maybe like a very dark, kind of like grayish, that basic... Coal. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Coal kind of eyes. Because then if he kind of gets, you know, worked up like this, something that might be interesting to do is that maybe they light up a little bit. Like maybe they become like a brighter color. Almost like a fire in there. Yeah, I feel like that might be interesting. Okay. Yeah, just like these dark coal eyes. That also helps to kind of put together that feeling of like he's just so exhausted. I've been told that I say... It's been suggested to me that I say like a few times too many on stream. And it is a habit that I'm trying to curb, but the problem is it's one of those like see, there I go again. It's one of those pink elephant kind of problems where if the more you think about not doing it, the harder it becomes to not do it. The phrase comes from this idea that if somebody tells you to not think of a pink elephant, that's going to be quite possibly the only thing you can think of at any given time. So if I say, don't think about a strawberry donut, you would think of like a strawberry. You would think of a strawberry donut, and that's kind of the problem that I have with that kind of a with thing like is that the harder I try to avoid doing it, I probably do it still quite a bit subconsciously. But if I'm conscious of it, somehow it'll come out even more. And I think that might be because I'm trying to think about it so hard that I need more time to think. And because of that, I use stalling words, which include like. So it's a tough situation, certainly. Okay, and then we're just gonna go over here. Perfect. There we go. That's kind of an interesting that's an interesting effect on the ice, which very clearly indicates, yeah, this dude is 100% out of it. This man is on another planet. I know that some people use the phrase space cadet to mean somebody who very frequently spaces out, and it's meant to be like a pejorative term. But I think it's surprisingly nice. Like, if somebody called me a space cadet, obviously they'd mean it in like a mean way, but I would take it very positively. I think I just love space. Okay, time to color these in. Yeah, we should finish just about on time with this. Okay, there we go. Hey, Harvey, how you doing? We're coloring in the last couple of bits for this one. You came right on time. Yeah, it's about to be the big finish. I'm doing pretty good. Had a less stressful day at work that I've had the rest of this week, so that's always a bit of a win for me. Yeah, it's good to hear that you're doing well. Okay, maybe a red cap would be good. What kind of caps do these usually have? I think they usually have like a white cap. Yeah, there we go. Then there's his like specialty coffee, which definitely does not have amphetamines in it. And okay, it's kind of like a bluish jar, I think. Yeah, there we go. Label in white. The kind of tissue crumpled on top here, kind of like a darkish yellow. The filter, kind of like that kind of creamy parchment color, I think. Yeah, like that. Also, some kind of like rubber band yellow rubber bands over here. God. I remember one time, and I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations on this is passed. One time I tried to make basically apple cider or something at home, and I got my dad to try it. Like I basically fermented a little bit of juice, and I got my dad to try it, and nothing happened to him because he only took a little sip. But it's still like a weird memory. Like, why did I do that? I'd have no interest in alcohol to begin with, so I don't know why I tried brewing some. I didn't know why I felt like that would be a good idea. No, it was like more involved than that even. I remember that I wanted to make like mead or something for some reason. And I basically put in some honey water and yeast and just let nature do its thing on there. God bless my dad for some of the shit he's put up with me for. You know, as a child, you can't ask for anything more than like loving parents, and my parents were so very patient with me. Okay, there we go. Magnus Rex doesn't really mean anything, I don't think. Magnus feels like it's one of those Latin words, but it's probably doesn't really have a meaning. Magnum just means like big, right? Now I kind of want a Magnum ice cream. Ice cream. Now I just want ice cream, period. It's a dangerous kind of a pathway, you know. You think about ice cream, then you want to eat ice cream, but then you want to like eat the specific ice cream you were thinking of, but like, you know, you can't because it's already late and all the stores that sell ice cream have already closed. I mean, maybe not all of them. There might still be a couple that are open, but I'm not about to go bother them. There we go, and maybe some additional detailing down here. There we go. Okay, so now we get to spruce up the background a little bit. Oh, I haven't colored in some of the rest of this though. All right, we can take care of that real quick. God, that is such an unsettling expression. I am legitimately a little bit upset at myself for making that expression there. What have these hands of mine wrought? Okay, then kind of like this. It just hit me that Aster is just a little bit like Harrier Dubois, but if he's a little bit if like Kim's deadpan sense of humor and Harry's penchant for drugs were kind of combined. Poor guy, honestly. That's potentially the worst combination that he could have asked for. Okay. And the coffee's gonna kind of go out like this. Perfect. Alright, then from there, I still need to design this fool's logo. Okay, how about... May have something to do with the stars, I think. Hang on. It can't be too complicated either. Well, that's more of a me thing. I don't like making logos too complicated because otherwise they get hard to draw. Then maybe how about okay, I think I've got one. So it's basically like a star on a string idea kind of thing. Okay, so draw a star, then draw a string, kind of like that. Like something going through it. Okay. It's missing something though. What about instead of doing it like that, hang on. What if it had like lines going across it? That might be interesting. That looks a little musical though. He's not that that's a bad thing, but it's supposed to, he doesn't have like a musical theme going on, so that's a bit more difficult to come up with an idea for. What has strings and is related to mechanics? A Rube Goldberg device? Nah. What about instead? Okay, so hang on. Maybe it's like by looking at the other logos that I have kind of on hand, I can kind of get an idea for what his is supposed to be. Then Sunny's more recent one was like this. Okay. And then this one would have to be a star. So it has a star theme. Okay. Still thinking here. No, right down the middle is weird as well. Oh, this might be interesting. Hang on. So... kind of like with it in almost like a mathematical shape. Huh. Okay. I like the kind of feel of this one, but the problem is that I'm not sure what it would represent for him. Yeah, because like his whole thing is that he was doing very well for himself. He got basically just destroyed, and then he came back from that. Maybe something like with a phoenix? Nah. Renewal? That might be interesting. Oh! Hey, wait a second. This could work. This could actually work because... Okay, this makes the shape of a star, but it could also be like a satellite or something, like a satellite dish. Alright, alright, okay, okay, I think we got it. Okay. I feel like this is already the logo for something else, though. Whatever. If they want it so bad, they can take it from me. Like, every time I make some kind of weird logo for my dudes, I have to secretly wonder if somebody else has come up with it first. But if that's the case, then finders keepers, losers weepers, honestly. On the other hand, what if, like... Like I said, it's a little weak, but I'll go with it for now. Sometimes you just gotta take the first draft. Also, I feel like it would be a white logo and much bigger as well. So what about increasing the pen brush size quite a bit? Nah, that looks really bad. Yeah, just kind of like a normal size. Okay. It's gonna take me a couple tries to get it right. Hang on. There we go. Oh, okay. This might be more interesting too than to have it kind of like tangled like this. Because I think that might also be able to kind of indicate some of the like turmoil he's got in there. You know, he's like a little knot inside. It could also be like the atom. That might be interesting. Hang on. Yeah, like a stylized atom. Alright, okay, that's what we're going with. I am feeling pretty good with that. Okay, now I'm confident nobody's thought of that. It's that extra little thing sometimes, you know? Alright, let's put some text on this bad boy and call it a night. Okay. Okay. The idea for this one was that he's basically vibrating so hard that he can't literally cannot hear what the other person is saying. Alright, kind of center that text. I have this conversation with myself at least 3 times a day. Like, I am definitely forgetting something right now. Hang on. Alright, hang on. Then change this one up. Okay, we'll have to rasterize this one to make it proper. There we go. There we go. Okay, then from here... Cold doubloon. Yeah, it's a doubloon you find in the Arctic. Alright. And I think to drive the point of the joke home, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste a line art layer. And I'm going to select the lines in here. Then I'm going to turn them into the kind of wavy lines that I had before. Here we go. Come on. Come on, buddy. Work with me here. Maybe... Oh, there we go. God, that looks... Yeah, that looks really scrungly. Alright, that mission accomplished, gang. Good job. It's weird. Why isn't it, like, making the shape? It needs to be even thicker. Okay, yeah, there we go. Once we hit the 70 mark, we start getting some real progress. Okay, that's the stuff. Okay, then from there... Alright, and then from there we can just make a bunch of shapes in the background and it will be golden. Alright, let's see. What would be a good kind of like contrast color for this background? I think just a pink would be nice. Whoops. Seems like I also painted in some other stuff in there that I wasn't supposed to. My bad. Alright. I'm getting better at doing these on the first try. I'm very proud of that. Okay, undo that bit there. Perfect. Maybe shape that up a little bit too. Okay, and then maybe this kind of like yellowish color for some Z's over here. Perfect. Oh, missed a spot here. There we go. and we'll use this color for personal items. Itism. Alright, there we go. Alright, well that's another one down. I'm pretty happy with how he came out. I especially like the revelation that I had with the muscle shirt. I think I'm definitely going to keep track of that in the future. Alright, whoops. We'll save this one. I'll post that on Twitter later. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty bushed, so I think we'll just go back to the just chatting screen. Yeah. On Friday, I'll be doing this again. I think that's probably the last one of these I'll be doing. You know, it's not good to just kind of keep doing the same thing over and over. It's not good for you as an artist. Sometimes, you know, sometimes you actually need that to grow. We'll see which one though. So this was... Oh my goodness. 3 in a row. Yeah, I got three sneezes this stream. Let's call that a hat trick. Anyway, on Friday I'll be doing this again, and on Saturday I'll be playing The Sims 3. Yeah, again, the streams this month are going to be, in the latter half of this month, are going to be pretty slim pickings since I'm trying to study for something. But I appreciate you all coming by all the same. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you all later. Bye.